Hey, whippersnappers, this is Tortimer the Gray. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Gray Version Season 3. This week we're wrapping up the PU tier with our normal gym battle. It's funny. So the end of last week, we rolled for which type this gym was going to be. And we originally rolled the dark type, and I was like, we just did an evil team encounter, which we used like every dark type in the tier. So I was like, let's shake it up for you guys. And so we rolled again, and we got the normal type. Only to realize, as I went in to look at what was going to be available to people so I could do my team building, only to realize that I don't think there was a single normal type Pokemon that was actually classified as PU. I think they were all in, people had to use everything from lower tiers, which I think is kind of funny. But we are coming in here up against Gym Trainer Mac. I think everybody managed to put together a rather interesting team, despite the fact that there wasn't really much, even in the current tier, that they were allowed to use. My team was more or less the same as last week, and we still got Glinda and Sentoku and Lol and a Zombination, but we also have the added, you saw my lead there was the shiny Quagsire named Riddle, and then we've also got a Trevenant called Grand Abuelo on the team, and I think he'll be coming out here at some point. Glinda switches in and going to go down to a hard dual wing beat. Lol coming in, going down to a hard dual wing beat. And then Grand Abuelo coming in and going down to a hard dual wing beat. So the Scarf Ditto once again causing me trouble here in this version, or the season of Gray Version. I think this is the third or fourth week that Ditto's been a pain in the butt with its scarf. So there we go. Thank you so much, Gym Trainer Mac. I greatly appreciate it. The first of many tough defeats this week, so I don't think you guys had too much trouble putting together teams to combat me. So anyway, let's jump into the next battle, shall we? We've got quite a few to get through. Here we go. Alrighty, and up against Gym Trainer Espresso Cat, and they lead off with Queen Derp, the shiny Dunsparce. A lot of Dunsparce early on in the week here. I think the first 3 or 4 battles we're going to be seeing Dunsparces, and I think it kind of drops off a little bit. No Ditto on Espresso Cat's team, which I think is a little bit unique as well. Stoutholm, yes, comes in, gets the freeze off on Riddle. Unfortunately, Riddle, my Quagsire, inspired by Skag's Quagsire Tom from the previous week, where we had the 130-something turn stall out between Lol and Quagsire. I was like, let's put Quagsire in the team. That'd be great. Riddle did not live up to his inspiration, and it didn't last quite as long. Glinda comes in with the Mystical Fire, taking down the bulky Dubwool. Dubwool's ability is fluffy, usually, I think, which I think halves the power of physical moves, but also makes it makes it weak to fire, as if it was super effective or something, I believe. So bring Glinda in with the Mystical Fire there. Trevenant switches out in face of the Crunch from Stoutholm. Stoutholm getting that Fire Fang up on a Zombination, but a Zombination going to finish it off there with a Bolt Beak. Buffalo Bill then comes in, throws up the Iron Head, finishing off a Zombination. Grand Abuelo then comes in with the Drain Punch, one-shotting the Punk Rocker. And then Big Cheeks comes in, takes a hard Drain Punch there. The Belly Drum is not going to have enough HP to activate, which I got very lucky with. And then Big Cheeks goes down, leaving Buffalo Bill to come in and go down to the Trevenant. And handing us our first victory of the week. So thank you so much for participating, Gym Trainer Espresso Cat. I greatly appreciate your continued support. And let's jump into the next battle, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty, guys, battle number 3 up against Gym Trainer Shunosaurus, and Shun leads off with Cinccino. I honestly don't know how that Pokemon's name is supposed to be said. I think Cinccino. At least that's what I'm going to go with, because I think it's supposed to be a chinchilla Pokemon. Anyway, Grand Abuelo taking some hard damage from the Audino there with the Ice Punch, or the Ice Beam. And not going to go down immediately, but the paralysis keeps us from getting another hit off, and goes down. Riddle then comes in and going to throw up the Earthquake, do some decent damage on the Cinccino. The Thunder Wave, obviously a misclick there, and going to go down. At which point Susan, the Kangaskhan, comes in and Going to do some good damage to Riddle. Not able to get the burn off with the Scald, and the Double Edge going to finish off Quagsire. Lol then switches in, throws out the Drain Punch. The formerly normal type, now Fairy type, Clefairy comes in. It was really interesting to see how you guys kind of tried to come up with something interesting to do with a normal type gym where there are no Pokemon even in the tier, sort of thing. And so Shun comes in, the formerly normal type, previously as when it was an Eevee, Jolteon comes in. Lydia then comes in, the Blizzard lands, a Zombination, going to throw up the Bolt Beak here and finish off the Audino. Susan then comes in and finishes off with the Double Edge, at which point Lol comes in, going to take a hard Double Edge, and get the knockoff off, finishing off the Kangaskhan here. Which point Clefairy comes in, I get the knockoff going, get rid of the Eviolite, knowing that Lol will go down to the Moonblast. Just wanted to help out a little bit there by getting rid of the item, and then Glinda comes in and going to take a hard Shadow Ball, and then Sentoku comes in, is going to take a hard Thunderbolt, and Gym Trainer Shunosaurus is going to claim victory. So thank you so much for participating this week, Shun. I greatly appreciate it. Let's jump into the next battle, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty, and here we are up against Gym Trainer Pocket Flygon. Lots of Imposter. I want to say Imposter is the ability on Ditto that allows it to transform as soon as it switches in to the field. Lots of Imposter Dittos this week. In fact, it earned itself a place on the thumbnail. Sentoku up against one of these bulky Dewballs. Glinda going to switch in, and unfortunately not going to have the defenses this week to withstand multiple hits from the sheep here, and is not going to be able to get him move off to finish out there. Then Bartender, the Orangutangu, comes in and finishes off Quagsire. Lol then switches in against the Ditto. Again, it's hardest fighting yourself. I don't really have... well, I guess Scyther would have been a decent switch up against Lol, but still, it's tough combating yourself, especially with yourself. I was thinking, oh, I could put a move on each Pokemon that would then allow it to do super effective damage to itself. But then I realized if it's a Ditto, it can do the exact same thing back to me. So I opted not to do that. Granabuelo going to take a hard Ice Punch from the Kangaskhan and go down in 2. Zombination then comes in. I set up the Substitute, throw up the Low Kick, doing decent damage to the Licky Licky. I think this is the only Licky Licky we saw all week, which was surprising. Zombination going to go down to an Earthquake from the Kangaskhan, as is Lol. As bulky as Lol is, not able to do that. Kangaskhan is scarfed here, obviously, so just waiting for it to go down so they can get a free switch in, which point the Licky Licky comes in and throws up the explosion. So, yeah, there we go. A fun little shake-up of the team. We didn't even get to see Silvally, although I'm guessing it's probably not normal Silvally. I would guess it's probably got some sort of drive or plate or whatever it is, Silvally memory? I don't know. But yeah, we didn't even get to see it in action, so who can say? But anyway, thank you so much, Gym Trainer Pocket Flygon, for participating this week. I greatly appreciate it. Let's jump into the next one, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty, and here we are. I saw the Persian lead. I was like, alright, well, in case of fake out, let's bring in Granabuelo. Took a hard Aerial Ace there, and then going to switch into Scyther in face of the Ditto Transform Trevenant. And then Scyther, I think that's the first time that triple axle move maybe came out. Maybe it cropped up in one of the earlier battles and I just was talking about something else. But holy cow, Chinchino was almost on the thumbnail this week. It didn't look very good with the gray of the thumbnail art. But youch, I have never used that Pokemon before. We were talking about this in the Discord a little bit. Never used it, and you don't really battle them a ton in like actual gameplay or whatever, so I did not really know what I was getting myself into with Chinchino this week. Everything I had, it seemed to have an answer for it. It had the triple axle, which is like an ice move that hits 3 times and gets more powerful each time it hits, and then it had Bullet Seed for like Riddle. I mean, it just like everything I had it, and then if it didn't have something, you know, weirdly super effective to hit me with, then it hit me with Tail Slap, which is a normal move that hits multiple times. It's the reason that Apom got banned from Little Cup, because the move's just so good. So yeah, and I think it's got both of it's either got Technician or Skill Link. Like it's got both of those abilities are abilities it can have, and one makes multi-hit moves hit the maximum number of times, and the other one makes moves under 60 power, 50% more effective or something. So they're both really good for those kinds of multi-hit moves, because even if you're not hitting multiple times, you're boosting the power, because those moves are always weaker. So this little thing was just a monster. I did not have answers for Cinccino this week, largely. Zombination coming in, throwing up the Bolt Peak. Cinccino switching out, bringing in Dairy Queen. Dairy Queen's going to heal up a little bit and get the Iron Head off. Zombination flinches, unfortunately. Going to take another hard Iron Head, get the Bolt Peak up. Not enough to finish off. The Iron Head hits here, but we do not get the flinch, so we throw up the low kick and finish off the Miltank. At which point, then the Tail Slap comes in from the Cinccino and finishes off. And then the Triple Axle comes in from Cinccino and is going to finish off, I believe. Yep, down goes Guanabuelo. So, yeah, Cinccino even pulling out victories for teams that don't have 5 Pokemon. Or don't even have 6 Pokemon. Oh, man. I feel like Codeman, he's in the past, previous seasons of Great Version has been known for these smaller teams, and I appreciate the kind of shakeup that usually gives a week. But I don't think this is the first or even second time that Codeman's managed to pull out a win with fewer than 6 Pokemon. So yeah, just this season, for whatever reason, just really embarrassing. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for the battle this week, Gym Trainer Codeman. I greatly appreciate it. Let's move on to the next one, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty, and here we are up against Gym Trainer Just Me, though. Again, in the face of the Ditto Transformed Trevenant, I bring in Scyther. Scyther then going to go up against the Miltank. Gets Toxic, but we do get the Sword Dance up, so able to come in and finish off. Well, not finish off anybody. There we go. Now we finish off the Munchlax, which I was a little sad about. I think it was the only Munchlax we saw this week. Would have been interesting to see it get a little bit of play. Santuku just hangs on, but not fast enough to outspeed the Persian even, and gonna go down. Riddle then switches in, throws up the Scald. We don't get the burn or anything. Switch out knowing that Bullet Seed's coming, so Law's gonna come in and take that. As bulky as Lull is, you get a critical here, a critical there. Still too much, and the Cinccino is scarfed, I believe. So, well, no. I don't think it's necessarily scarfed. It's probably like Choice Bandit or something. Lull's just super slow. It's a slow, bulky set. Guanabuelo then comes in, gets the Drain Punch off on the Miltank. We're going to have a little bit of back and forth. Well, no, not really. At some point, I have a little bit of a back and forth with the Miltank and Miltank, but apparently not there. Guanabuelo takes down the Miltank. Riddle then comes in, and Ditto then switches in, giving us Quagsire v. Quagsire. Toxic going up on both. And then Ditto going to switch out. Drampa going to come in. Guanabuelo going to come in with the Drain Punch. Do really good damage to the Drampa. It gets the special attack boost as they set up the Calm Mind. So I'm getting a little scared there, but we are faster, so we just go ahead and finish it off there. Persian then switches in. Riddle switches back. Really don't want Guanabuelo to take any damage here. Riddle's kind of just my, hey, I need something to absorb some hits for a second here. And so that's that. The Zombination gonna come in, and the 4 times resisted. I don't think it's 4 times resisted. Maybe it is. But definitely resisted Bullet Seed, still enough to take it down in 2. Ditto then going to come in and take a hard hit from Guanabuelo, and gonna finish off Riddle, but go down to the toxic damage. So Ditto finally off the field. At which point Glinda comes in, takes a hard knockoff. Doesn't die to this one though, which is surprising. Throws up the Psychic, which gets some good damage off, and then gonna go down to the knockoff. At which point Guanabuelo comes in, gonna take a knockoff and go down. So yeah, most of you guys not having too much trouble with the normal typing this week. I love normal types. Truly one of my favorite types, and so nice to see you guys kicking my butt a little bit this week. Yeah. But yeah, so let's jump into the next battle, shall we? Thank you so much for participating this week, Gym Trainer Just Me, though. I greatly appreciate it. Here we go. Alrighty, guys, here we are in our final Gym Trainer battle of the week up against Klungar. And Klungar leads off with his Kangaskhan, and I lead off with Trevenant. Riddle then going to come in to take the double-edged there, Recoil taking down the Kangaskhan. At which point then Crate, the Drampa, comes in, finishes off Quagsire. Lull switching in to get a hard knockoff on the Crate Dragon there, and then Lull going to take the lowered attack Draco meter without any issue. The Drain Punch then landing on the Audino, not going to be enough to get us into 2-shot range, but the knockoff getting rid of the heavy boots just in case. Obviously not doing hazards this week, as you guys can probably tell by now, but Miltank is throwing up some stealth rocks there, doing a little bit of chip damage every time we switch. Gran Abuela taking the Toxic. The Seismic Toss, obviously a misclick there, or maybe expecting a switch. But Gran Abuela able to get a lot of health back with the Drain Punch. Going to finish off the Miltank there with an additional Drain Punch, getting back up to full health. At which point then we are going to get a hard hit on the Drampa as well. Ditto then comes in, transforms into Trevenant. Trevenant switching out into the Scyther. Scyther going to get a knockoff on the Audino, who's already lost its move, and miss dual Wing Beat for the first time this battle. Dual Wing Beat misses due to protect there. Should have taken the opportunity to set up the Sword Stance, but did not. The knockoff comes, gets rid of our heavy boots, so switching Scyther in again is going to be a little bit of difficulty, and we miss dual Wing Beat 1 or 2, and then Ditto takes down our Scyther. Zombination then comes in with the Bolt Beak, finishing off the Audino. Claudite, the Ditto comes back in and hits its low kick. We hit ours. Both get us in about the same range, and the Ditto is scarfed, so able to finish off our Zombination. Get a little bit of low kick damage here on Lol before Lol finishes off the Ditto there, and then Cinccino going to come in and start throwing up this triple axle move, which I will admit I had to Google. I got wrecked by triple axle so much this week. I'm probably like, what is this move? I went and looked it up. So triple axle not going to be enough to finish off Lol, and Drain Punch going to give us a little bit of health back, but most importantly finish off the Cinccino and grant us victory here this week against Gym Trainer Klungar. So thank you so much for participating this week, Klungar. I greatly appreciate it. Let's see what our gym leader has in store for us this week, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty guys, and here we are up against Gym Leader Scad. Scad is the normal type Gym Leader this week. And I know Scad was the evil team admin last week. Her battles just end up being the closest battles that I win, at least the last 2 weeks. As you guys will be aware though, generally speaking, I don't like to have somebody be a gym leader more than twice, so she was an evil team admin. She is a gym leader, but probably, I mean, assuming I can get other battles that would fit the criteria, will not be a gym leader again. There are few enough people participating in this series this season, at least so far, that I think everybody should be able to be a gym leader or an Elite Four member or the champion or whatever. One of those big tier kind of weeks, everybody should be able to slot into one of those without any issue. In fact, there will have to be some overlap at some point, especially with Elite Four and Champion taken into consideration. But yeah, so Glinda going to take a hard fake out from the Kangaskhan and then go down to the Sucker Punch. Scads, Ditto, and Drampa are already off the field. My Scyther and Hatteram are already off the field. Riddle stupidly stays in on the Bullet Seed, or rather I stupidly leave Riddle in on the Bullet Seed and gonna go down to Floof the Cinccino. At which point Tail Slap going to come at a Zombination and do just way too much damage. Zombination sets up the substitute, and I didn't realize this, but I do now. On multi-hit moves, it'll break the substitute and then just keep hurting you. So yeah, quite the waste of time there. At which point, I'm down to just Gran Abuelo and Lol. She switches into the Fairy type. I'm going to go ahead and switch out into Trev. No, I just go ahead and leave Lol in, huh? Well, that's dumb. Trusting to Lol's bulk to survive the Dazzling Gleam, I guess, and able to come in. Gran Abuelo comes in with the Horn Leech, which is not resisted like the Drain Punch would be, and able to finish off the Wigglytuff there. The only Wigglytuff I saw this week, which was surprising. I saw somebody bring in a Clefairy, but Wigglytuff is actually normal type, so you had a normal fairy there. And this is the first, this is the only one. Lol comes in and sets up the rest, and suddenly Scad starts having PTSD. He's like, oh god, not this thing. And so get the rest, get Toxicked. Lol is shed-skinned, and I do also have a rest, so I'm not really too worried about the Toxic. There we go, the shed skin taking care of Toxic for me. And Scad says, this better not happen again. She was so mad at me last week when the toxic wouldn't even stick around a full turn or whatever. She toxic, and then at the end of the turn it would heal or whatever. Lol just gonna go ahead and set up. I think once I get to 2 times attack and defense, I just go for it. Get the Drain Punch going. Yep, enough to finish off the Kangaskhan there. Get us some good health in addition to our leftovers. Leftovers get knocked off here by the Chinchino, but the Drain Punch, the 2 times attack, Drain Punch, Stab, gonna be enough to finish off the Chinchino, and then Miltank comes in with the Toxic. We were able to land a hard Drain Punch. Good bulky Miltank here, getting the Milk Drink going. Drain Punch coming in, getting the Miltank down into red. Leftovers getting it up into the yellow, and the Milk Drink back up into green. Get rid of the leftovers there as well. I figure, well, she shouldn't have the benefit of leftovers if I don't anymore, and then we get the Drain Punch on the next turn and finish off the Miltank there. So thank you so much to Gym Leader Scad. I greatly appreciate your participation this week. I know you had a busy week and you got in here at the last minute and managed to be the best battle I had all week. So that was exciting. I thank you for that. And special thank you to all of our gym trainers as well who participated. I know all of you guys take the time out of your week to build your teams and get in here, and so I greatly appreciate you guys doing that for me. So we've already rolled, and it's been in the Discord for a couple of days at this point, but let's go check out the spreadsheet for those of you guys who are just following along at home and not participating, so you know what to expect to see in next week's episodes. Here we go. Alrighty, guys, so we already rolled this because this episode is coming out really late, and I wanted to give people the opportunity to build teams if they needed to. I spent my entire weekend cleaning out my garage and working on building a bookcase once I cleaned out the garage enough to be able to do so. So I didn't have any time to, I had time, but I just didn't take the time. I was busy doing other things to get in here and record this. So yeah, I rolled this previously and dumped it into the Discord where all of our participants hang out. But you will see here that we are, this week, moving on. We defeated gym number 3, our normal gym in the PU tier. So we're moving on to the NU tier, so we are going to be in NU, and we're doing our between gym encounter, and we rolled a 1, so we're going to be having a NU rival battle this week. So, if you guys didn't see that in the Discord and you are a participant, start putting together your teams. If you're not a participant, just hang out, and we'll see you guys when the next episode comes up, and you'll get to see some fun, hopefully fun, NU rival battles. And if you would like to participate, but you have not at this point already, details in the description below for how you can make that happen. You just have to go to the Pokemon Showdown Battle Simulator, which I believe there's a desktop, or you can do both on computer or mobile, and then there's a link to the Discord, which is where you contact me to do battles, and that is a browser, a desktop, and a mobile application, so there's really no reason why you can't get in on this if you would like to. All of the applications are available in multiple different ways, and they are all free, and so just jump in there if you would like to participate. Even if you haven't participated up to this point, we're in week 7 now, going into week 8. Would love to see some new faces. Don't feel like you can't jump in because you haven't already. But anyway, guys, I've been Tortimer the Great, and you guys have been great. Special thanks once again to all of our participants this week and every week for continuing to keep this series alive, because it's nothing without you guys. And I will see you guys all back here for next episode as we take on our NU tier rivals. All right, guys, I've been Tortimer the Great, and you guys have been great. Have a good one.